Once the most powerful man in the known world, Marcus Aurelius, made a concerted effort to live virtuously by adhering to Stoic principles. Unlike many Roman emperors, he resisted indulging in the numerous pleasures available to him, such as excessive drinking and the spectacles of the Colosseum. Marcus Aurelius was driven by a profound desire to fulfill the purpose he believed fortune had assigned him, which was to serve humanity. To achieve this, he cared deeply about fulfilling his purpose, but paradoxically, this also meant caring less about matters that were neither worthy nor wise to concern oneself with. Such matters were numerous. One of the fundamental concepts in Stoicism is the dichotomy between things we can control and those we cannot, as explained so clearly in Epictetus's Enchiridion. Most, if not all, things outside our own actions fall into the category of things we cannot control. Does this imply that we should renounce the world entirely? Not necessarily. However, Stoics believed that we should adopt a realistic perspective regarding our limited influence over these external factors. Failing to do so places an unnecessary burden upon us. When life brings us suffering, it often arises from our attachment to things beyond our control. By caring deeply about these uncontrollable factors, we unwittingly grant them power over us, like marionette puppeteers manipulating us with invisible strings. We then shift blame onto these puppeteers for manipulating us, when in reality, we have allowed them to do so. However, if we cease caring about these uncontrollable elements, they lose their grip on us, and we remain undisturbed. For Marcus Aurelius, this state of being unperturbed by external factors beyond his control allowed him to manage the numerous responsibilities and challenges he faced as an emperor. It enabled him to focus on the task he believed had been assigned to him by the gods. For Epictetus, this mindset represented freedom. Others may adopt it as a means to concentrate on meaningful goals, and for some, it may simply serve as a path to a carefree and contented life. So, when life inflicts pain upon us, what are the things we should cease worrying about, and how do we go about it? This video explores and interprets Marcus Aurelius's philosophy on how to care less about things that are not worth our concern. In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius consistently draws distinctions between the present, past, and future. In each of these temporal categories, the ancient Roman emperor imparts valuable insights about how we often place excessive importance on them, focus on them in misguided ways, or fixate on the wrong aspects. To provide clarity and structure, this essay will be subdivided into these three temporal categories, beginning with the future. Seneca once wisely stated that we often suffer more in our imagination than in reality, suggesting that our thoughts are often the source of our suffering. When it comes to contemplating the future, our imagination tends to run wild, conjuring countless scenarios of what might happen, most of which probably never will. In advance, we strategize how to handle potential outcomes, all the while feeling uneasy because of the uncertainty of how the future will ultimately unfold. In some cases, the future unfolds much as we anticipated. However, in many instances, fate surprises us, presenting us with events we could never have foreseen. For example, we might have diligently prepared for a well-deserved retirement, only to receive a devastating cancer diagnosis just before entering our twilight years, granting us only a few more months to live. The mere possibility of such events leads many to persistently worry about the future, both the best and the worst possibilities. What if a catastrophic world event occurs? What if I lose all my savings? While these adverse outcomes are indeed possible, as long as they are not occurring in the present moment, we cannot effectively deal with them, for they exist solely in our thoughts. The future only troubles us because we think about it. It does not exist outside the realm of our minds. Marcus Aurelius articulated that it is not the weight of the future bearing down on us, but rather that of the present alone. The future itself does not inflict pain. It is our present perception and worry about it that cause distress. The suffering we attribute to the future unfolds in the present. Paradoxically, it is not the future emerging in the present, for when we eventually encounter it, it is already the present. The misery we associate with the future is the result of our present-day anxieties and preoccupations. So, what wisdom does Marcus Aurelius offer regarding the tendency to overly concern ourselves with the future? Let's consider the following quote: "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." In this quote, he underscores that if he can endure the challenges of the present moment, he can also face the uncertainties of the future. He advises himself not to dwell on every dreadful possibility that might occur, but rather to remain focused on the present situation. By concentrating on the present, he discovers that he can bear its burdens. If that is the case, why should he not have confidence in his ability to navigate what lies ahead? This mindset aligns with the concept of amor fati, the love of fate, fortified with the belief that we possess the resilience to confront whatever the future may hold. It encourages us to trust in our capacity to cope with the challenges that lie ahead, allowing us to approach the future with a sense of calm and preparedness, rather than excessive worry and apprehension. The past. Marcus Aurelius, in his profound contemplations, recognized the fleeting nature of existence and how swiftly it slips away into the infinite beyond our grasp. He understood that, much like the future, the past is a realm in which we cannot operate. What has passed is irrevocable, and unless we invent a time machine, we cannot alter anything about it. In his own words, "Remember that man lives only in the present, in this fleeting instant. All the rest of his life is either past and gone, or not yet revealed. Short, therefore, is man's life, and narrow is the corner of the earth wherein he dwells." Despite the brevity of our lives, which transpires only in the present moment, we often become overly preoccupied with realms beyond it, the future and the past. Marcus Aurelius recognized that the past signifies as much as nothing and is at present indifferent. It is not that past events do not influence the present or that we cannot derive lessons from them. Instead, it is the realization that we cannot work with the past as it lies outside our reach. Moreover, our memories of the past are often clouded, and avenues to ascertain precisely what occurred are limited. We rely on recollections that are shaped by personal perspectives and various interpretations, whether they are our own or those of others. Therefore, the past is not only beyond our reach, our recollection of it is often flawed. Yet we frequently expend energy caring about past events, replaying them in our minds and reliving the pain they may have caused. Some may believe that by thinking about the past, they can exert some control over it, but this is an illusion. The past is gone, and all we endeavor to control are our thoughts about something that has been consigned to the annals of history, never to return. Many people express wishes such as, "I wish I could have done things differently." But such desires are founded on the impossible. Nothing can be gained from these thoughts, as they evoke desires that can never be fulfilled. Marcus Aurelius offered an alternative perspective. Rather than fixating on the past events themselves, he encouraged individuals to focus on their reactions to them. Past events, he argued, cannot be controlled, and it is highly likely that we could not have prevented them when they transpired. What truly matters is how we choose to position ourselves in relation to these events. He articulated this view as follows: "It's unfortunate that this has happened. No, it's fortunate that this has happened, and I've remained unharmed by it, not shattered by the present or frightened of the future. It could have happened to anyone, but not everyone could have remained unharmed by it. Why treat the one as a misfortune rather than the other as fortunate? Can you really call something a misfortune that doesn't violate human nature? Or do you think something that's not against nature's will can violate it? But you know what its will is. Does what's happened keep you from acting with justice, generosity, self-control, sanity, prudence, honesty, humility, straightforwardness, and all the other qualities that allow a person's nature to fulfill itself?" Interestingly, Marcus Aurelius did not entirely dismiss the value of the past. He believed that by examining the patterns and rhythms of the past, we can glean insights into how events come and go, often repeating themselves. This knowledge enables us to make informed extrapolations about the future, enhancing our capacity for wisdom and discernment. The present. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, frequently emphasizes the profound significance of the present moment. He recognizes that the present is the only realm in which we have access and influence. From this vantage point, we can peer into the infinite depths of the past and the impenetrable darkness of the future. Marcus Aurelius encourages himself to remain firmly anchored in what is within his control, the present moment. Yet, even when we manage to let go of the past and minimize our anxieties about the future, we often still find ourselves caring too much about things that are not worthy of our concern. Specifically, the events unfolding in the moment. It is common for us to experience dissatisfaction when life does not unfold as we wish, leading to emotions such as anger, sadness, or depression. Marcus Aurelius, however, contends that becoming emotionally disturbed by the capriciousness of fortune is a futile endeavor. The way the world unfolds around us is beyond our influence. What remains within our jurisdiction is how we choose to react to it. Marcus Aurelius uses the analogy of pigs struggling and squealing when being sacrificed to illustrate the futility of resisting what fate has in store. In his view, it is unproductive to struggle against forces beyond our control. We cannot prevent wars, halt natural disasters, or halt the aging process of our bodies. Similarly, we cannot compel the world to align with our desires, ensure that those we are attracted to are equally attracted to us, or guarantee that all individuals have equal opportunities in life. These things are simply beyond our capacity to change. Yet, we often expend substantial time and energy resisting the inevitable and railing against circumstances that are impervious to our influence. We become angry because we lack what we desire, and sad because we confront situations we dislike. In this way, the present moment transforms into a tormenting chamber in which we suffer at the whims of fortune. Alternatively, we may become so enamored with the present moment that we cling to it fervently, fearing its loss. In doing so, we allow external circumstances to control us. In either case, we become ensnared in the myriad aspects of the present moment which are fleeting and beyond our command. Consequently, we often fail to recognize what genuinely lies within our control, our choices, actions, and opinions. For Marcus Aurelius, the natural order of the universe serves as our master. To resist it or to experience grief or anger in response to it is tantamount to desertion and flight. Instead, we must embrace the ways of nature and concentrate on dealing with them constructively rather than squandering our energy on disgust or attachment to our circumstances. Marcus Aurelius suggests a way to cultivate acceptance of the present moment in the 7th book of his Meditations. He advises treating what we lack as non-existent and focusing on appreciating what we possess, the things we value most, by contemplating how much we would yearn for them if they were absent. However, he cautions against becoming overly satisfied to the point where we would be devastated by their loss. Accepting one's circumstances can be a formidable task, particularly when facing significant hardships. Marcus Aurelius maintains that adversity should not serve as an excuse to respond like squealing, protesting pigs. Instead, he views it as an opportunity to practice virtue and apply Stoic philosophy to one's life. The art of living, according to the Stoics, is not about the extraordinary and fortunate external circumstances which are inherently unreliable and beyond our control. Rather, it is about how we confront the events we encounter. A matter of great significance, as Marcus Aurelius eloquently expresses, because to me the present is a chance for the exercise of rational virtue, civic virtue, in short, the art that men share with gods. Both treat whatever happens as wholly natural, not novel or hard to deal with, but familiar and easily handled.